Hello and welcome back to Fullerton College Print 145, Variable Data Printing. This is Professor Ben Hewitt, and we're going to take a look today at the very beginnings, the first little taste, the dabbling our toes in the water of dynamic image use. Previously, we've learned things about how to do if-then toggles. We've learned how to use styles to change the graphics based off of the data set that we're working with. Today, we're going to use similar logic, and we're going to create a method of swapping out static images, but multiple static images based off of information in our data points. I suppose I should start over on this to do it proper. So let's go with a new document here in InDesign. I have myself built a preset for 5x7 card because I do so many of these. Include our bleed, 2 pages, no facing, sure. Boom. The next thing we're going to do is link to our data source. And for this one, we're only going to use the California lists because honestly, there is a lot more to do for this project if we try to use the whole nationwide mailing list. Okay. Well, the backside of this card project, I won't really detail in this video since it's just really putting in an address block. Let's take a look at the front and what we want to do here. I have created, let me share this here, a series of images, or collected a series of images, all based off the different counties people might live in. Whoop, spoilers, that was orange. I didn't go city by city, but county by county, because although city by city would have been amazing, there are too many cities to do this in any sort of reasonable amount of time for a class project. Although city is a better use of this type of trick. I just tried to simplify the quantity of work necessary. You guys are welcome to use my images, you're welcome to use your own images, and you're welcome to blend the two together and use some of your own images and some of mine. So, the way we're going to do this takes advantage of two basic facts that we've been learning about in this and other classes. One of the facts is how XMPie, when creating a content object, will pull data from the spreadsheet and put it into our document, and how you can use different pieces of information that happen to exist there as reasons for things to happen. The other bit is a bit more basic. If you guys remember the rundown of how InDesign itself works, specifically how it works with images. Remember that InDesign does not embed images. Why don't I just go ahead and drag one of those in here? There we go. Bring in the star. She's a beautiful ship. Drag in my Star of India image, a little bit bigger to make it fit, a little off center. There we go. Now, when this is here inside InDesign, let's just take a look around InDesign on this and make sure we're actually sharing what can be seen here. I'll go inside InDesign more so it's a little bit more clear what's happening. We go to window links and we can see the group of links. Right here we have one called san diego.jpg. And if you hover your mouse over it, hopefully this shows in the video, you can see the location on the computer where it's going to. Because remember, InDesign does not actually put your images inside the documents. InDesign makes a to-do list for itself, or a packing list, if you will, for later. So that when you go to print your design, or when you go to export it to PDF, or make a JPEG out of whatever you do to export and get it ready for output or publishing, then the computer, through InDesign, goes around and recollects all of these things. So when you set a graphic in here, put a picture inside InDesign, it doesn't put it in. InDesign says, aha, I see where you have that put on your computer. When you go to print, I will pick that up and take it with me. It's creating a packing list for when you output. So taking advantage of those two facts, we should be able to, and this actually is this logically simple, tell it, well then, instead of use this picture, what if you tell it the name of the picture it's trying to pick up is in fact a data point? So let's take a look at this one. We'll make a new content object, and I'm going to call this county image because I am oh so annoyingly literal. Use this image with county name. The type is going to be graphic. And watch this. Here's how hard this one is. Graphic equals county. Done. So what that did, it's a simple piece of coding, but it's taking advantage again of how both XMPie works and how InDesign itself is programmed. So let's go ahead and swap that out. You know what? I'm going to say county image instead. And we're having problems. Let's take a look at why that is. Firstly, we never told it where to look. XMPie is pulling from a folder. Let me show you how to do this. I thought it'd be more interesting to show it to you fail first rather than just go straight to the answer. So here it is. The problem right now is it doesn't know where to find the picture with the names. So if we go to our XMPie palette menu and we click on the hamburger menu there, we've linked to our data source. Let's go down one called Set Assets Folder. That's right, you gotta watch your assets. That's your bad pun of the day. Anyways, set the assets folder. What that's gonna do is tell the computer where to look. Well, I guess not the computer, tell XMPie where to look for resources. And right now, the default is whatever folder your data was from. So it pulled the data list from my sample data folder, and that folder has no pictures. If I go back to my print 145 and I go to my folder called county images and I say choose, hey, look, it populated with a picture. Isn't that interesting? All I had to do was look in the right place. So now as we scroll around, it's going to change based off of what county is there. There are a few other problems you might be noticing with this, which is not all the pictures are the same dimensions in terms of pixels. And some still have problems. So let's take a look once more at the types of issues we're having. Let's solve these one at a time. First, we already know about how InDesign handles pictures, not just that it links them, but that it creates a frame, and inside that frame is the picture. And sometimes a picture can be way bigger than the frame. Doing it the more visual way for you guys in the video, but not the way I prefer, because I'm a keyboard shortcuts kind of guy. If you right click this and you go to fitting, and you say, well, let's just say fill frame proportionally. This is my favorite one. This says, make sure that the picture fills the entire image frame as good as it can, but make sure you don't stretch anything out of place to get it. You will still get a little bit of cropping around the edges, but at least it won't distort your image. In fact, something else I would do here before I did that, let's go back and refuss with this, is make sure that our image frame, sorry XMPie, I gotta close you for a second, to be able to get to the size of the bleed, because it's gonna be a full bleed image. Open that back up. Once again, although this time I'll do the keyboard, Command Option Shift C, or for you PC users out there, Control Alt Shift C. Same basic chord, as I call them, translated into PC from Mac. Now, if I do this and I scroll to the next one, oh, it actually maintains it now. Good news, everyone. It does this nowadays. It used to be that if you did this, you would lose your formatting when it put another picture in. You had to set it manually. But let's look at it anyways. Dynamic graphic properties, to make sure it's there. It's like a default now. It picks up what you had. So we'll go fill proportionally, so whenever it does it, it will do that. You can also tell it maintain transformation. So any stretching, squishing, scaling, skewing that you've done to the one test image, it will automatically put on everything. PDF crop options, we're going to leave that where it is. And VI stream, we're going to leave that one alone today as well. That's not part of today's lesson. So we say okay. And so now, as we roll around through all these, let me just do my elevator button, depending on what county you're in, it's going to change the background image. Isn't that great? Oh, Orange County. There is the most famous, bestest structure in all of Orange County. Everyone who thinks Orange County immediately thinks of our school, I'm sure. I know I do. Sometimes these don't quite work out. If I do that again, fill proportionally, that should have done. So we're going to actually change this one more time. So you might have noticed that even filling proportionally didn't quite do what we wanted. So we're going to tell it, in fact, maintain transformation. There we go. That was my county. It does cause some problems here and there. Ooh. Maybe it does want to be filled proportionally. Oh, there's the problem. Fill proportionally from the center. You tell it where you're going to, let me show that to you again. You show it which part of the picture is going to be the part that it scales to. We're going to keep it from the center anchor point. That way the outside edges get dragged in and out to make it fit, rather than starting in a corner, which is what it was doing. This should fix, oh, there we go. Look at that, we're even centered now. Anybody get my Star Trek Roar 4 reference with Alameda, nuclear vessels? Anyone? Anyone? Okay. Let's fix the other two problems, or the other problem with this, which is some of these. Let's go ahead and just, I'm going to double check which one we're in. So I'm going to county here. Let's go ahead and edit this rule just so I can cheat and see where we are. Butte County, or Butt County, is being done incorrectly. So let's go take a look at what's going on with the pictures. Oh, somebody, I'm not going to point any fingers here, forgot to download an image for Butte County. Let's fix that real quick. Okay, so now I've put it back in. Let's give it a try. We'll scroll back up and scroll back down, and it still didn't quite do it. Let me try this again. Edit rule. Oh, man. Okay. And so although we've put the thing in, let me do a better share on this here. Although I've downloaded an image now into Butte County, and it actually is a butte. It's a nice place there. Here's a waterfall in Butte County that I want to include. So using that image, it's in the correct folder, but it's still not showing up here. That has to do, oh, I guess it redid it, never mind. Sometimes the ghost of the old memory is still stuck in your memory, and it remembers the old one rather than the new one. So anyways, that is how you make it swap out images based off of a thing. You just have to make sure that your image matches, sorry, the name of the image matches the name of one of your data points. It could be any of them. It could be zip codes. It could be first names. It could be counties. It could be cities. Any sort of information you have in your spreadsheet, so long as it exactly, character for character, matches the names of images or other linkable files, it will pull a link of a file by that name and place it in for you as that thing shows up in the correct spot in your list. I'm now swapping through, seeing if I can come up. Yeah, there's another issue that we should look at. Speaking of, let's take a quick look at which one this is. This is, oh, Marin County. I forgot to do Marin County because there's only one or two in here of this one. So you might have to go through and make sure you find images for all of them, or you'll have some trouble. The more common ones show up. And this one, I even had some problems with uppercase and lowercase. I was kind of trying to bait a problem out, but they seem to have fixed it in the more recent versions. The older versions of XMPie were case sensitive. So if you had San Mateo, spelled capital S-A-N, capital M-A-T-E-O, but your data points were lowercase or the other way around, or if the image name was all lowercase, it wouldn't match. It seems to not be so case sensitive as it used to be now, which is actually a pretty good thing. It's a little more forgiving. So as long as you have an image with the name, it'll put it in for you. All right, thank you guys for watching. You've just taken your first steps into a larger world.